guys, Monica Weakley here. You know how you're supposed to post about real estate every single day on Facebook? Yes, you do. And the reason is, if we don't remind our Facebook friends what we do for a living and how we help people, they will forget about it. We know it's our job to inform, educate, and demonstrate what we do for a living. Well, I'm coaching agents all around the country, and they understand that, but they're not doing it. And I ask them, why aren't you doing it? Probably just like you. And they said, Monica, we don't know what to post. Can we just borrow your stuff? Because I love creating Facebook posts. And these can often be used over on Instagram as well. So I said yes, and people were borrowing my stuff. So I created finally a product that you can sign up for free. It is free, guys. There is no reason for you not to sign up for this. It's ghostposter.com, GHOSTPOSTR, no E in there, just TR.com. And what you're going to get is you're going to get a Facebook posting idea to your email every single day. So not only do you have this great idea, but you've been reminded, oh yeah, I need to post. And that's Monday through Friday. And if you don't love the post or you think, gosh, I'd like something else, well, you're also going to get access to a library of over 600 different posts for you to choose from by category. You're going to love it. Go sign up, ghostposter.com. Don't waste a minute. And then be sure to join the private Facebook group. All right, I'll see you in there.
All right, I am here with Mega Agent Lori Powell. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
I'm good. So you are going to share with us today on how you lost almost $500,000 in 3 years. That's a lot of money, Lori.
It's a heck of a lot of money, all based on one decision.
Well, I'm glad you didn't lose it, but share with us like your journey. What the hell, man? What happened?
Well, I was just streaming along as a mega agent, doing my tons of deals by myself. I didn't have a team or anything, cranking along, happy as a lark, right?
Mm-hmm.
And totally in control of my life, if you will. Like I'm a real estate coach as well, so I'm big on basically controlling how much business you take and how much you do.
Yeah.
So here I was working 9 months out of the year and taking off 3 months out of the year traveling.
So you were doing great. I mean, that's like every agent's dream.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
Like
yes.
You work most of the time, but then you're off a lot, and that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
Traveling the world 3 months out of the year. So, boy, did I almost make a mistake.
Oh no.
So, there was this person that I had a meeting with, and it was another agent, and she said, gosh, have you ever heard of this EXP thing? And I'm like, no, never even heard of it. Didn't think anything of it. 4 days go by. Another person said the same thing. Gosh, have you heard of this word? I wonder what this EXP stands for. What is this thing? I don't know. I don't care. Right? I'm cranking away.
Right.
Third person, about a week after that, we were working on a huge development opportunity to cooperate and collaborate. He says, hey, have you heard about this EXP thing? I said, I keep hearing this name. What is it? I don't even know what it is. Right. And then he goes, his first line was, Lori, I think you should really look at it.
But he wasn't involved. He was at a different brokerage.
Yeah, he was with a different brokerage. He said, I think you should really look at it because I know with the way you work, this might be something really of interest to you. And I'm like, what? I'm at my company. I'm happy as lark. Everyone loves me there. I've been in leadership positions.
You're living the dream.
Living the dream. I mean, all the agents, all the social things that we do and just the camaraderie and supporting that office and sticking it out through the tough times and helping them, yeah,
because you were doing like a lot. Like you said, you were in the leadership, like you were doing a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I was living the dream, just like you said. And this guy I have a lot of respect for. He's built many businesses. So I'm like, okay, well, if he says I should actually look into it, I'll look into it. And that was the single best decision I ever made, was to look into it. In my engineering mind, I just researched the hell out of it. I mean, I started calling people arbitrarily across the country. If I'd see their name listed in it, I'd ask who else to talk to. I probably interviewed a ton of agents, researched everything online, which there wasn't much of anything online except negative. Of course, that's the way it always is online, right? Everybody
Right.
always negative stuff online. But that's how my mind works. I have to analyze everything. Well, the first thing that caught my eye was, okay, they only have a $16,000 cap in the United States. And I was paying a $23,000 cap.
Okay.
I mean, I know there's agents out there that don't even have caps, right? I used to work for a company where we paid 30% on every deal we did. Didn't matter how many deals we did.
And that's like critical. Like, this is your money. And sometimes, like, depending on your volume, that's tens of thousands of dollars being paid.
It is. And, I had moved from a company that was 30% on every single deal to a company that actually had a cap of 23,000. And I thought, well, if anything, at least it's a $16,000 cap. And because of the volume, because I had done so many deals every year, I'd have that opportunity to get that 16,000 back in the way of company stock, which was essentially 100% commission, right? That's how I was thinking. Oh, this is going to be 100% commission. And I thought, well, even if that $16,000 that I pay in my splits ends up resulting in even 10 cents a share of stock,
it's still more.
Close to 16,000. It's still more than any other office has ever offered me.
Right.
Really, really tough decision. Because I usually don't make decisions based on finances alone, right?
It doesn't seem like it's enough to move, right? I mean, you're talking about going from a 23 to 16, so that's $7,000. $7,000 a year doesn't seem like enough to move, really.
Right.
So what happened?
Well, then I started learning more about the model.
Okay.
And my tagline in my area is let Lori help. I love helping people is my quote, that my tagline that goes on everything. And through the recent prior years, I've been helping a lot of agents because I started coaching them and taking agents that had 0, 1, or 2 closings the prior year and getting them into 3 to 4 closings a month, if they went through my coaching program. So I really enjoyed not only making an impact in buyers and sellers' lives, but also agents' lives. Well, guess what? This model allows me to change agents' lives, to open up an opportunity for them that they've never had before. Because not only did we have the opportunity to get stock, but we also had the opportunity to get a share of the gross revenue of the corporate.
Right. So you're already, like, with the stock and the compensation plan on commission only, you're already basically at 100%, depending on the stock, right? Maybe more.
Exactly.
But when you layer on the revenue share program, you're over 100%.
Right. And that's assuming that the stock is just dollar for dollar for what you pay in, that 16,000 that you pay in, assuming that it's worth 16,000 at the 3-year mark when it vests. Well, the thing that pushed me over was the fact that this opportunity for other agents is extreme.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm a big believer that agents work very hard for their money.
Right.
They work millions of hours.
Keep giving it away.
Oh my gosh. They just keep giving it away. They work millions of hours. People have no idea what they do behind the scenes to solve problems, and they deserve more for what they do.
Yeah.
And so this model allows them to get at least 3 forms of compensation for doing exactly what they've always done, for what they're good at. Right.
Right.
So it was an opportunity to actually move into a company where it was going to make an impact in other agents' lives, in addition to the potential for myself. Now, how did all that play out?
Yeah,
right?
That's what I want to know.
I mean, I decided to not burn any bridges. I decided to have meetings with my prior office people one-on-ones for special people in there to let them know what I was doing, and that if it wasn't going to work, I'd be coming back, because
Yeah.
this was an unknown, right? It was a huge risk. It was unknown at the time.
Right.
And so moving over was a stair-stepping process where I just decided that I was going to do the same production as what I did the prior year, because again, I believe in controlling your transaction quantities and balancing your life. And and so I continued to be a mega agent that first year, after I transitioned into EXP, and ended up getting that 16,000 back in the way of stock, which we can talk about in a minute. But here's the beautiful thing. When I moved over, other agents' lives started to being impacted as well. I'll give you an example. A gal comes on board. It was just someone that I was doing a transaction with when I first came over. She comes on board and she calls me at the 3-month mark crying.
Why?
Lori, oh, I'm so grateful you brought me into this company. I just paid off this huge credit card debt that I've had for 5 years. I just paid off my car loan that I've been struggling with for the last 6 years. And I am ever so grateful. And when you start having these one after another, these tearful, grateful sessions, because what happens is they come in and they typically produce a lot more.
Yeah.
And I've tried.
Why is that?
I've tried to evaluate it. I mean, there's tremendous training systems, right? Over 80 hours a week of live training, yada, yada. You've got this huge KV core system that brings in leads like crazy. I mean, there's all these things, but the one consistent thing that I've noticed is they finally feel like they're in business for themselves instead of working for someone else.
So it's like a shift in
their
like subconscious or whatever.
It's a mindset shift. They are in business for themselves because guess what? They're company owners because they have shares of stock and they get a piece of the revenue of the company if they choose to use that methodology. Right. So it's just amazing. I could give you story after story of agents that have come on board and they've 10x'd the prior year, or they've 3x'd the prior year's production, or they've done all of the prior year's production in the first 3 months that they're with us. I mean, time and again, my team averages 218% increase in their production the first year that they're with us compared to the prior year.
That's insane. That's so much.
It's
so
crazy.
So you share with us the details about the almost $500,000 over 3 years. So you were saying you kind of controlled that, you kept the same level of business.
Yes.
Okay.
For that first year, the first year into EXP, I kept the same level of business as what I had in the prior company. And because of that, I ended up getting my $16,000 cap in company splits paid back to me in the way of company stock. And at the 3-year mark, just that 16,000 was worth $280,000. $280,000.
That's great. That's a
lot. I would
lot.
have never gotten that in the prior company.
What'd you buy? Did you buy anything?
No, okay. So let me tell you the rest of the story. So they also give you stock, when you have transactions every year, first and when you cap, and when people come on board, they give you stock, and you can buy stock at a 5% discount. And I mean, a 10% discount, 5% of your commission. You can use all those things added up.
Right.
At the 3-year mark, it was almost $500,000 in stock and revenue share.
That's crazy. And you didn't do anything different. Right.
I didn't do anything different.
Right.
Different. People don't get this. Oh my gosh, for the same thing I've been doing year after year after year.
You made
guess what?
400 and what was it? 400 and how much?
$468,000 is what it was worth.
Almost $500,000 more.
$500,000 more. This is more than the amount of commission that I made from the year prior and that year. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
That's the differential. That's the differential.
I mean, I think like that's a pretty strong motivator, right? Like money's a big thing. That's a lot of money.
Well, we know that, what is the statistic? 89% of agents don't have a retirement plan.
Oh, I would think it would even be higher. But yeah,
Think about that. Just the stock alone. Who knows if stock's going to go up or down? No one can predict that. I mean, it does a roller coaster ride, right?
sure. Nobody knows.
Just like real estate values do. Something is worth more than nothing.
Agreed.
Something given to us is more than nothing given to us.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking to these agents, oh, I'm already at 100%. Yeah, but are you at 218%?
Right. Exactly.
People are like, what? What does that mean?
How is that even? Well, it's like, how is that even possible?
How is that even possible?
Well, and here's the thing, like most companies outside of real estate, like these big corporations, their compensation plan includes generally, if the company's like traded on, the NASDAQ, it does include like stock options. It includes some type of like revenue or profit share or something like that, as well as like a salary. In our case, it would be commissions. So this is just basically set up how big corporations are set up to compensate their high level, their C-suite people. And this is a business. This is your business. You are in the C-suite. Like you are the CEO of this business. Act like it. Get compensated appropriately.
Exactly. And I know a lot of people love they have personal relationships with their brokers.
Okay.
I know I have as well.
Yeah, fine.
Here's the thing. Is it better to pay 30% to that broker because you love them? Or is it going to be better to pay that 30% to one of your loved ones in your household? Which one's going to appreciate it more?
Right.
Which one's going to make you feel better?
Right.
And, it's just, it's a matter of setting priorities and setting goals. And if you believe in running it like a business, then why not get compensated the most you can possibly be compensated for what you do?
Right.
I mean, for me, I thought I would continue doing this, continue producing and all that, but I fell in love with just helping the agents.
Yeah.
And honestly, because of the compensation package, 22 months in, I wrote a 5-figure check to my husband's work to buy out his contract so he could retire. And we paid cash for a house, beautiful home in a different state. And I mean, we're living the life now, just helping agents,
That's awesome. It's like, everything.
Times a year. Yeah.
It's interesting when you have freedom and you have choice, you will make different decisions, right?
Your true why comes out, like what really fulfills you.
Yeah. So it's a matter of like, do you want to have to be, 85 years old showing houses? Like you have to. And like, if something happens to somebody in your family, like you may be able to help, but probably not, or else you won't have business, right? Like you're on this roller coaster, or this like whatever that wheel is. Like, do you want to stay on that?
Wheel.
Yeah. The hamster wheel. Or do you want a choice to potentially make hundreds of thousands more for the same work?
Well, here's my thing. I was in this track. I was successful. I was enjoying life. I was traveling. I was doing everything I wanted to do. I thought.
Yeah. That's
the key. So many of us get caught in, well, this is all there is, and this is great, but it's not fantastic.
Is
now
it
it's
really the best?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And we don't even allow ourselves to see it. Had I not listened, think of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think like you owe it to yourself to just see if it could work. And if not, it's not a big deal. You can always go back. But the number one thing I always hear when people like listen is they're like, oh shit, like I can't unsee that.
Nope. And
I wish I would have done it sooner is the second
thing. That's it. That's what I was going to say. That's what most people have said. Dang, why didn't I see this a year earlier or 5 months earlier? Why didn't I make my decision a year earlier or 2 years earlier or whatever? I've got people that I've interviewed that on tape, that have said that's like, oh man. But today's a new day, right?
Right.
And we all know that anybody who's serious about their business, that they, well, I guess I should say globally, if you're in business, it's always a good idea to have an open mind and look at anything that is pitched to you, because it might be an opportunity to grow your business in a certain way that you have not seen before. I constantly take meetings for pitches because I want to know the best out there. And if anybody else has something better than this program, holy cow, I want to be the first to know about it.
Exactly.
I do.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's great. Well, Lori, I know that you are growing your team nationally and globally. If people want to learn more about what it's like to work with you, maybe they want to look at their numbers and they want to understand the culture better, like they have questions, they want to interview you. What is the best way to get a hold of you?
They can reach out to me at any social media platform, just about, at Let Lori Help, Lori, Let Lori Help. At any of those, I have links to set an appointment with me. Be happy to have a one-on-one. There's links to my website that gives all the information, all kinds of testimonials. If they want to participate in some of my coaching, I have all kinds of things that I can provide as well. So yeah, reach out. I'd love to have conversations. I do run people's numbers all the time that can do a private,
analysis
for you. And this applies for teams as well. Teams or brokerages, we can have the analysis run, and then you can do a true comparison and keep it undercover until you decide what you want to do. So,
right. And to your point, like, it's not always about the money, but like, definitely the money gives you freedom to decide what's best for you and your family. And you might as well have a choice. If you're going to work, you might as well get the most amount of money possible and have a choice. That's what I figure.
Well, I agree. And I think, I've always said people go through stages in becoming an agent. When they're new, they're just trying to get business, right? And so this platform gives them KV core to get a ton of leads. Once they start getting business, then they usually scale up. They want to become a mega agent. Well, guess what? All these trainings that are given, people are sharing their trade secrets. Once they become a mega agent, they become, oh my gosh, how do I balance time? I'm making all this money, but I can't use it because I'm buried. Right. And then that allows them to scale the whole team concept
and give back,
having to manage and give back. Right.
Yeah. And that's where people, like, they will start to see that, where then instead of like working, you do focus on that, helping others grow, because you're not so desperate to get your baseline. You have your baseline, and then you're like, okay, how can I give back to other people? How can I help other people do the same thing? Because it does make a big, if we've all been there, right? Like, we've all been struggling. And then there's typically a point where that changes and your mind totally shifts. Yeah, exactly. And it's a really big deal in some countries. Like, I was speaking with a Mexico couple this past week. They paid 50% of their 26 deals that they did in the last 6 months into their broker. That's too
much. They would have made almost double their income had they been with us, almost double their income. And in Mexico, the real estate market is very different and it's very difficult. So this is not just an opportunity for people in the United States. Globally, it's just bringing so much to families and allows them to inherit sharing of the revenue for the rest of their lives, for their kids' lives.
It's a retirement plan. I mean, if you're an agent and you're 30 or older and you do not have a retirement plan in place, like, probably ought to start thinking about it.
Yep. And this is the first time we've had something to allow us to have it.
Yeah, there's something out. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Lori, give us how to reach you again.
Let Lori Help. Any of the socials.
And Lori's Lori.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for being on.
Hey guys, it's Monica here. I am so excited to introduce you to Real Estate Fight Club's newest partnership, Cyberbacker. Cyberbacker is the best in the business for virtual assistants. How do I know this? Because I am a Cyberbacker customer and I love this company. I have my favorite, Frances. She is my Cyberbacker, been with me for over a year. She's amazing. She makes me better. She's eager to help. She's on time. She's disciplined. She's awesome. And this company, Cyberbacker, has figured out the system. From the interviewing process to find out what I need, to the interviewing process to interview several cyberbackers, to the onboarding process, to the training process. Very buttoned up, very awesome. You and I both know it's time for you to leverage. It's time for you to take that step, and Cyberbacker is a really safe, awesome solution. Make sure to mention Fight Club and you will be getting a free gift. All right, do it. Make the call. See ya.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a podcast.